if you're like me and you watch a lot of YouTube videos about music and being a musician, you may have come across some bands who have talked about their experience in being on tour and how much money they've made. Most of the time, it's about how much money they've lost, how much debt they incurred while trying to go on tour, while they were trying to build their fan base and sell their merch and so on. And it always seemed to me that maybe they're just doing it wrong. Maybe that's not the right approach. Now, my own experience goes back to the 1980s. Right after high school, I was with a band. We were working through a booking agency who kept us busy working all around Florida and the southern states. And the way it worked back then, it's not like this now, but the way it worked back then was they had it set up with the venues where each band would come in for basically a week, and the band would play between 3 to 5 nights that week. So it might be Wednesday through Saturday, or 4 or 5 nights during that week, and then there was a package price for the band to be there. And so you didn't have all this downtime in between shows that you were doing. So you would travel to this venue and you would just play night after night after night, and then move on to the next one for the next week. And so it was logical. The bands, nobody's getting rich off of this, but the bands could at least survive that way. But it seems like when you're touring around the country trying to do this, there's a lot of downtime. Not only do you have all the expense of bringing your whole entourage and all your equipment with you, but you have a lot of days in between the gigs where you're not even playing. And yet you still have to pay all the expenses for accommodations and food, and everybody's got to get paid, especially your crew members. So it's not a very efficient way to try to make a living as a musician. You're gonna lose a lot of money. The only bands that do make a lot of money are the well-established national acts that have been around since the 1960s and 70s, like the Rolling Stones or Aerosmith or any of these classic rock bands that are still out touring around. The reason they do it is because they make a lot of money, and I'm sure they have a lot of fun too, but because they can play a larger venue and they can sell out the tickets, then it becomes affordable for them. But if you're a small band starting out and you don't really have that kind of a fan base built up yet, seems like to try to travel around to try to find those fans isn't a very efficient way to do it. Where, so here's what might be a better way to go about it. You're starting from your hometown and you build up your local following there. And as you're trying to spread out, do what you can online first, as you get your new original songs recorded for your next album or your single release, whatever it is. Make a music video for that, put it out on YouTube, promote it, make other kinds of content videos, talking videos like I'm doing right now, and so on, behind the scenes stuff. And just keep putting that out there and try to build up your following that way. And as you find fans in a particular city, I've got a whole bunch of fans in this city. Okay, now go try to book a show in that one city, not a tour around the whole country. You're not ready for that yet. Just find these individual little hot spots and start filling up the map with those hot spots. And over time, you get more and more of those. So you're not out touring. You just drive to that show, you play the show, and you come back again. And that way you don't have all this downtime in between gigs. You just come back home, and you're not having to pay all your crew members and all the accommodations and all that kind of stuff. So you just do your one-night gig, and then you come back. Now, even me and my band, today we're popular enough that we get offered gigs out of town, and we go play those gigs, but we don't try to stay on the road. You go drive out of town, you play the gig, and you come back home. If it's far enough away, and if we're getting paid enough, we might decide to get a hotel for that one night just to take the edge off the driving. But most of the time, we'll drive to the gig and then come back again. Whether it's, being booked at a venue or some private event or a college frat party or something like that. We get those all the time. But we know we're not ready to just go on the road. It just, that wouldn't make any sense. And I don't really understand the logic behind trying to do that either. So better off to try to find your hot spots, find your markets that you can really build up. And then eventually, if you get enough of those, maybe years down the road, then you could as you go back and revisit those markets, maybe then you could schedule some dates that are all kind of close together, and maybe you could make a circuit out of it and then, end up back home. That seems like a much more logical way to do touring, if that's what you want to call it. You could also do short tours where it's just 2 or 3 shows, hit those and then come back home, so that you're not paying so much money in between these dates. So even if it's just a weekend, you're going to do Friday here and a Saturday here, and then you're going to come back home. And even if you have to drive 500 miles for that first gig, maybe you just schedule it in a way where, okay, you're going to go here, and then for the next night, you're going to go here, then you're going to come back home again. Something like that. It seems like that would be a much more logical way to do that. Anyway, that's my thoughts on touring in general as an independent artist, a smaller act that doesn't have a national sized following yet. Maybe you have some other ideas or some other personal experience. Let me know about that. But those are my thoughts. See you in the next video. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, be sure to like and subscribe. It'll really help out this channel. And if you want to show your support even more, click the link below to pop over to my website where you can get some cool t-shirts and other merch, including my latest album on vinyl and CD. Right now I'm going to play you some of the music from this album to the end of this video. We'll see you next time.
Of this universe, somehow I found you, somehow you found me. Of all the souls in this galaxy,